They were both eating in heavy silence. Wine gaze fell on Jimin's phone lying on the table, and she saw that the wallpaper was a picture of Jimin and Yeri together. Seeing this, Wine realized how much Jimin must have loved Yeri. She glanced at Jimin and spoke, "Why, you really loved my sister, did not you?" Jimin looked at her and noticed her eyes were on his phone. He stood up angrily and threw his phone and the plate of food aside. "I don't love her. I hate her. I absolutely hate her," he shouted and began to leave. Vine felt disappointed, blaming herself for bringing up Yeri's name, thinking it was why Jimin stopped eating and walked away. She stood up and followed him. She entered the room to find Jimin throwing everything on the floor in a rage. Seeing his anger, Vine was scared but gathered her courage to approach him. "Jimin, please stop. If you are angry at my sister, why are you taking it out on this lifeless thing? Why are you taking it out on the food? Because I can't take it out on her. And I am not angry at her. I hate her. I don't know how much I loved her, but I do know that I hate her from the core of my heart." His outburst made Pine flinch. "You just hate her? Then why have you been hating me and troubling me since yesterday?" she asked coldly, which only made Jimin angrier. He her by the neck. Vine tried to free herself, but Jimin was too strong. "Keep your voice down, little girl. And I don't just hate her. I hate everything and everyone connected to her. I hate everything that reminds me of her who left me on our wedding day in front of everyone," he said, his grip on her neck. "Leave me, let me go, you are hurting me," she struggled to say as she gasped for breath. "I hate you," he said, finally letting her go before storming out of the room. Wine fell on the floor, gasping for the air as tears escaped her eye. It's not my fault, Park Jimin," she said, angry through tears. 5 days later, Vine was preparing dinner when her hand got burned and she cried out in pain. "Ah, my hand is burned, it's burned," she exclaimed in pain. Both the guard and Jimin, who were in the living area, turned to look at her, but Jimin ignored her. A man approached Vine with ointment. "Ma'am, let me apply the ointment for you." Vine extended her hand toward her, but Jimin interrupted. "Serve me dinner," he said as he walked to the dining table. "Sir, ma'am's hand, did not you hear me? Serve dinner," he shouted, and the maid hurriedly started serving him. Wine glared at him angrily, which was unnoticed by Jimin, realizing he had deliberately given the maid another task so she could not treat her burn. Wine left the ointment and approached one of guard. "Oppa, could you apply ointment for me? I can't do it with my left hand," she asked politely. The guards hesitated and Jimin gave them a sharp look. "Ma'am, how can I touch you?" he asked nervously. "I am asking, please. Why not you help me? Do you want to see me in pain?" she said, her face innocent, her eyes pleading. Guard hesitantly glanced at Jimin, who silently continued eating. "Please, Oppa," she said, extending her hand. Finally, the guard applied ointment to the back of her hand. "Thank you, Oppa. It's my pleasure, ma'am," he said with a bow. The next day at university, the class was going on when Jimin's eyes fell on Wang, who was chatting with a friend. His gaze sharp and his voice cut through the room. "Miss Wine, stand up." His stern voice made Wine freeze, and she stood up herself. Internally, she knew she had given Jimin a chance to scold. "You are talking in my class." "I'm sorry, sir," she said softly, her head bowed. "Detention." He snapped. Wine's eyes widened in shock. Jimin had never given detention to any student before. "I'm sorry, sir," she pleaded, her voice trembling. "And you will submit the assignment tomorrow, the one that was supposed to be due in a week." "Sir, how can I finish it in one night? Please, sir, forgive me," she begged desperately. "Shut up and sit down now," he commanded sharply. Wine sat down, her eyes glossy with unshed tears. This had become a daily occurrence, even insulting her in front of the entire class, but today was worse. How was she supposed to complete an assignment in one night, especially one meant to take a week? On the top of that, she had detention until had to prepare dinner. The pressure was unbearable for her gentle and innocent soul, who had never experienced such cruelty in her life. Seeing his helpless and teary eyes, Jimin smiled in mind, satisfied with her misery. Times Wine enters the mansion, throwing her back onto the couch. A maid approaches her with a glass of water. "Ma'am, water." "No, no, I need to cook quickly. I don't have time. I will just fresh up and come back." She hurries upstairs, freshens up, and rushes to kitchen to prepare dinner. In hurry, she accidentally cut her finger but ignored the pain, focusing on completing her cooking assignment. After finishing the meal, she heads upstairs. "Ma'am, there is a cut on your finger. Let me bandage it." Wine smiled, touched by concern. "Thank you," she said this before rushing upstairs. "I will let Jimin enter serve the dinner." The maid served the meal, but Jimin eyes for Wine as he eats, finishing his meal. He stand up. "Where is the little girl?" he asked coldly. "She's in room." Jimmy frowned and started heading upstairs when his phone rang. "Who?" The voice on the other end turned his expression into a furious glare, and he immediately hangs up. "Guard, we need to leave now," he commands, and the guard automatically draws their and leaves the mansion with him. Jimmy returns the mansion with his guards. His body was covered in someone else. Boss, the doctor will arrive shortly. Ignoring this, Jimin heads to his room. Upon entering, he sees Wine slumped over the table, asleep, surrounded by her work. He frowns, picking up one of the sheet and raising an eyebrow. So this kid to complete her assignment. Impressive. He sets the sheet down and heads to the bathroom. After will he return? His eyes fall on Wine's innocent face, illuminated by the moonlight. She looks like an angel, her face glowing. Softly he steps, bending down to tuck a strand of her hair behind her ear. Admiring her face, just then the door opens. Boss, doctor, said the guard, and Dr. Wo's Jimin face hardened. How dare you to enter without my permission? He asked in a low, dangerous voice. The guard trembled. Jimmy noticed Vine's disheveled clothes, her waist, drawing the doctor's gaze. Rage flashes in Jimin's eyes despite his unusual indifference toward Vine. Everyone out. I will come to another room. He yells the guard and doctor leave. Immediately, hesitantly, Jimin glances at Vian, unsure of what to do. I will just leave her like this. Park Jimin, you should not care about this girl, he muttered to himself before heading to another room to get treated. After a word, still he returns to his room and collapses face down on the bed, stealing glances at Vian. For a moment, he loses himself in a peaceful face. Slowly, he drifts off to sleep. A few days later, Vine stood in the living area with a sweet smile on her face as the guard and maid stood respectfully before her. Please eat with me. I don't like eating alone. If we eat together, we can talk and enjoy. Her childlike excitement had made everyone smile. Over the past few days, her kind and playful nature had won over the mentioned staff. She brought light heartedness into their otherwise rigged lives. Everyone except Jimin, who always found reason to give her talks or scold her, but Vine had grown immune to his cold demeanor, accepting that the cold chuck could always hate her no matter what. Alright, ma'am, we are ready to have ice cream with you. Yes, she quickly gave me the ice cream and sat on the couch. However, she noticed that all guards and maids remained standing. Why are you all standing? Sit with me. The staff exchanged hesitant look, but ultimately sat on the floor instead of couch. What are you all doing? Sit on the couch, ma'am. How can we sit at the same level as you? Why not? Oh, is it because I'm your boss wife? The staff nodded in unison. But your boss does not even accept me as his wife. Then why are you taking it seriously? Just think of me as your friend. Ma'am, you are officially Mrs. Park. We can't sit beside you. Wine tilted her head and smiled mischievously. Fine, if you will not sit at my level, I will make this even. She climbed on the table. See, now I am above all of you, so sit on the couch already. Her playful stubbornness made everyone laugh when they finally sat on the couch. Ma'am, if boss find out we are eating like this, he will scold us for sure. Oh, why are you all scared of him? See, he called me daily and still I am not afraid of him at all. Her comments made everyone giggle. But ma'am, you are not afraid of him at all. He looks so scary when he is angry. Ah, scary, that cold, arrogant man. Who could possibly be scared of him? She stood on the table eating her ice cream with dramatic gestures. He calls me little, but he is not that tall himself, shorty man. Everyone widened their eyes in shock, giggling nervously. Suddenly, their laughter froze as they spotted him at the entrance. His face serious and his eye dark. They quickly stood up in the fear. Ma'am, sir, yes, you're sir, the arrogant shorty man. I don't know why he is always so angry. It's like his nose is permanently stuck in red. Maybe that's why my sister ran away from this marriage. Love justice is not in his destiny. She turned mid-sentence, her eyes widening in horror as she saw Jimin's furious expression. Her mouth hung up and she gulped nervously. Slowly, she climbed down from the table and stood on the floor. Jimin stepped toward her, his dark gaze fixed on her face. With a single gesture, he dismissed everyone from the hall. In mere moments, the staff disappeared like smoke. Vine's forehead glistened with sweat as she stood frozen. Jimin did not say a word. He took the ice cream from her trembling hands, placed it on the table, and used his thumb to wipe the ice cream off her lips. His touch sent shiver down her spine and her breath hissed. So you are not afraid of me, little girl? No, I was just joking. Please don't mind my words. And you are tall, very tall. Before she could ramble further, Jimmy pressed his index finger against her lips. Shh, from tomorrow you will do all the mentions curious. What? No. Yes, his tone turned sarcastic. Don't disobey me, little girl, or this arrogant man will show you just how arrogant I can be. He tapped her cheeks with mischievous smirk before leaving the room. I'm not his slave to follow his orders, she muttered as she stormed to her room. When she entered, she found John standing by the window. I'm not your slave, so I will not obey you. Jimmy turned to her, his face calm. But as my wife, you are obligated to obey me. But you don't even accept me as your wife. His smile faded, but he stepped closer, his gaze piercing. But as your professor, your gates are in my hand. What does that mean? It means I control your future. Disobey me, and I will destroy your grades and career. Don't you dare, Jimmy smiled, amused by her fierce response. I can do anything, and if you refuse to work, I will ruin your career. I won't let my career be destroyed before it even shines, she said, and Walked to couch. She grabbed a blanket and lay on the couch, covering herself. Jimin watched her with a slight smile. Finally, I have found her fragrance after 2 days. Have not you found out anything about Yeri yet? What kind of officer are you? He says angrily on the phone. I'm searching, but I have not found any leads about her or her boyfriend. And stop yelling at your friend. I'm not your servant. Yeah, but please use your entire force to find Yeri. By the way, was not she your brother's fiancée? Why are you so worried about her? Because nothing. She was also a good friend of mine. Let me know if you find anything about her. Here is an idea. As someone who know about Yeri and her boyfriend, there must be someone who know where her boyfriend used to live. That will help us a lot. Yes, her sister Vine. She must know something about Yari's boyfriend. I will ask her. Alright, then let me know. He ends the call at the park mansion. It was holiday and Vine was doing all the household chores, wanting to lose any marks and under Jimin's constant threat. Finally the chores are done. Now I need to shower and work on the project, the one that Chuck assigned to me. After Vine begins working on the project, not because it was necessary, but because Jimin gave it to her just to trouble her and add to her workload. After a while, Jimin enters the room and sees her busy working. All the work done, yeah, it's done. What about my lunch? You did not eat. Am I supposed to cook your lunch too? She says without even looking at him. Then Jimin walks up to her and tilts her face toward him by placing his index finger under her chin. I want lunch, little girl. Then tell the maid to make it. And what if I don't tell her to? Raising an eyebrow, Vine looks at him annoyed. Then don't eat and stay hungry. She gets busy with her work again. Then the maid knocked and Jimin gave her permission to enter. Sir, your lunch. Jimin gets up for her to place it on the bed. Ma'am, you wanted to eat? No, I have too much work. I just got free from doing housework. The maid leaves and Jimmy looks at her. You don't want to eat? Why do you care about me? Not at all. He storms off to bathroom. Shorty man, she under her breath. Vine was working on her college assignment in the living area, sheets and pens scattered on the couch. Jimin was not home. Just then, a tall figure entered the mansion and stood in front of her. Seeing the messy state of the place, he blinked in surprise and Vine looked up at him. Taehyung, Appa, you are here. Can't I come here, Vine? He says with humble smile. No, of course you can. I'm sorry for this mess. She awkwardly smiled and quickly gathered all the sheet and pen in one place. How are you, Ryan? He asked as he sat on the couch. I'm fine. How are you and mom and dad? Everyone is fine. Come sit, Ryan. Sit at a slight distance from him on the couch. The maid brings snacks and juice and serve them. Ryan, I know you do not want this married by circumstance. Turned out this. Hearing this, fine smile faded. Can I ask you something? Yes, Oppa. Do you know anything about Gary's boyfriend? He asked hesitantly, and Vine looks at him with confused eyes. Yes, I do, Oppa. Can you tell me about him? Look, dude, can't be wrong. Everyone in your family is worried. And Gary is my best friend. I want to find her. Don't you think it's strange that she disappeared so suddenly? Did she ever mention her boyfriend to you? Do you know anything? I don't know if sister ever told Dementia about him, but as far as I know, my sister's boyfriend name was Bruno. They dated for a year, but I don't know why they suddenly broke up. Then 6 months later, sister's marriage to Damon was fixed. Oh, okay. Do you know Bruno's address, where he lives, or what he do? Anything? No, Oppa. All I know is his name. Oh, okay. Alright. I will get going. Bye. Take care. He leaves as he drives away. Jimin's car enters the mansion. Jimin sees Taehyung car leaving. What was Taehyung doing here? He enters the mansion and finds Fine working. Little girl, yes, little man. Jimin begins foaming with anger but manages to control himself. I'm sorry, my tongue slipped out, man. Why do you always get on my nerves? Do you like to testing my patience? No, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, tall man. She stands near him with puppy eyes. Shut up and tell me what was Taehyung doing here. Oh, Taehyung Oppa was here to ask me about Yeri's sister. Hearing Yeri's name, Jimin becomes suspicious about Yeri, about her boyfriend Bruno. Did sister ever tell you about him? No, that teacher, deceitful sister of yours, never told me anything. I did not even know she had an ex-boyfriend, and you told all this to Taehyung. Why? He grabs her shoulders. Oppa said he wanted to find Yeri's sister. He was her friend. This why. If Taehyung is searching for Yeri and he did not think it was necessary to tell me, I need to find out what's going on. He went the couch and storms out angrily. He now felt betrayed, thinking even his brother had deceived him. I was searching for his ex-fiancée and had not considered it important to inform him. You don't deserve love, Hyung, not from anyone.